The Battalion are bringing a well-rounded team this year, backed up between the pipes by Brad Topping. Topping had a stellar rookie year, and he'll need that same great play tonight to get the victory. Last Friday, Rick Nash scored in the dying moments of the game to push the Knights past the Erie Otters in a 4-3 win. Does Nash have another last-minute miracle up his sleeve? Coming up next, the Brampton Battalion and the London Knights. Next on OHL Primetime.
Well, hello everyone and welcome to the London Ice House for today's game between the Brampton Battalion and the London Knights. The Battalion coming to this game with a 1-1 record, the Knights undefeated at 2-0-1. Last season when these two teams met, they split the season series at Malenko, Rafi Torres, Brian Finley, Lucas Havel, and also Radoslav Klesla. 5 key ingredients to this Brampton team all moved on to bigger and better things. For the London Knights, Rick Nash, phenomenal, 5 points through 3 games. Dylan Hunter, the rookie center, 3 points through 3 games, so he's been good as well. Let's take a look at the starting goalies for tonight's game. In the pipes for London will be Glenn Riddler, again an average of 2.92 on the season, and Joey Biasucci gets the start for Brampton, replacing Brad Topping, the phenomenal guy who had the rookie campaign last year for Brampton. He's going to get a night off tonight as Biasucci gets in the net. Back for this game for the Knights as well, Sean McMorrow and Ian Turner, both back from suspension, so they'll help the Knights out. And Danny Bois should add some inspiration as well, too. He was just named the captain of the Knights yesterday, so he's going to lead this team. I'd like to welcome all the people watching on Cable 10 in Brampton. Should have a beauty, the Knights and the Battalion at the Ice House. Let's send it upstairs to Steve Matthews and Gavin Mifflin for the call of tonight's game.
We're getting set here for the opening face-off of this game. First meeting of the season out of 4 between the London Knights and Brampton Battalion, and we are underway with Mike Stathopoulos taking the face-off along with Jay McClement of the Brampton Battalion. Here's Rick Nash in behind his own net. Watched closely in there by Brent Hughes. Hunter, who played for the Knights last year and is still on the team. Dylan Hunter with a good start. 3 assists so far on the season. Big shot there for McSwain. Another one. Riddler gets over to covered up. Loose in front of the net. He score! That's Kurt McSwain making it 1-0 for the Brampton Battalion.
Well, and that's just a case of some defense breaking down. The London Knights really got caught flat-footed in the neutral zone as the defense couldn't get back quick enough at giving an opportunity for McSwain to bang it into the open net. There we saw Riddler make one save. This one just underneath his arm, got back behind him and nobody there to pick up McSwain, and he just backhands it easily into the open net. 1-0 Brampton.
In defense, he gets it ahead to Ionetta. Now Daniel Bois through center to Rick Nash. Nash takes a shot on net. Wide open, no one home for the London Knights, and the penalty to Brampton is over. Harrison, he'll quarterback this. McSwain with the head down is taken down by Weidman. And I think we're going to get another penalty here. This time it's going to be to the Brampton Battalion. Nope, another London Knight penalty. I'm not sure exactly what that was.
Well, there's no
Dennis
signal.
Weidman is going to the box. He went down low as McSwain was coming out and had his head down. Looked like a clean hit from here. But the referee, Wash Kurek, he didn't like the look of it at all.
Definitely looked like a clean hip check by Dennis Weidman.
They're calling it tripping.
I'm not sure how that's a trip, but nonetheless. Now as all of you folks at home can hear, the fans are quite displeased with the call.
I don't know. Did we have a replay of that? It was a center ice hit.
And it's a 5-minute penalty, a 5-minute major penalty for tripping. And I'm really not sure what the referee saw there. They're calling it clipping, actually. This is not the NFL. This is not the CFL. This game resembles nothing of football. I've never, ever in my life heard of a clipping call, and I'm quite sure if I pull my rule book out, there will be no clipping in there.
Centering pass is deflected into the corner to Mike Stathopoulos. Ian Turner tried to shovel it out. Kept in by Paul Flash. Shoots there. The penalty's over. They score! So we have a 2-0 hockey game. The Brampton Battalion take a 2-0 lead on that power play goal just as the first penalty to the Knights was expiring.
That's Jay McLeman scoring that one for Brampton, giving them the 2-0 lead. And just as this goal scored, Sean McMorrow's minor penalty had expired and he had just come out, but nonetheless, it's still a major penalty. So there's still going to be 3 minutes and 16 seconds of power play, but Dennis Weidman's out of the box now. And they're talking to the officials. And if he now gets a game misconduct out of this, this is a travesty to the game.
I'm not really clear on what's going on here. This 5-minute major penalty. So Weidman is out of the game. There's another goal scored by Hughes, and Brampton has taken a 3-0 lead in the first half of this first period. And the Knights look as if they don't know what's hit them. That was Brent Hughes scoring that goal.
Here we have an opportunity to see it again. There's really nothing Glenn Riddler can do about that one. A good shot from Hughes, fired up high over top of the shoulder of Riddler. And a well-placed shot. Brampton leads 3-0.
Netta going after it. Sean Dixon. Dixon takes a shot and then is nailed afterwards right into the boards. Leclerc takes a shot and that one goes just wide. Loose puck as Riddler goes scrambling for it and covers up the puck.
A broken hand out of the deal.
Here's Nash trying to keep it in. Belevny does hit the blue line as McClement went after him. Here's Nash with the pass. The shot underneath the goaltender. Biasucci knocked it down. And once again, the referee had lost sight of the puck, so he blows it dead. And we'll get a face-off in the Brampton end, which is probably a break for the Knights because they cleared it down the ice.
I was just going to say, despite the anguish of the crowd and their dismay at the official, Brampton picked this puck up right here as the whistle went, fired it all the way down the ice. Now we get the time on the clock stopped. The Knights don't have to go all the way to their own zone, pick the puck up. They get it in the offensive zone.
Here's Belevny at the blue line, gives it to Nash. Nash will take it right in front of the net. There's a chance for lob, shoots it, they score!
With some hard work by this London Knights team, finally get themselves on the scoreboard. It's now 3-1 for Brampton.
Well, they call it a butt end. A 4-minute penalty for butt ending. Looked like a high stick. It was a stick penalty, that's for sure. There's a spin around as Belevny gets it in center to Turner. He takes the shot. A sprawling Biasucci. There's another shot. Goes off the defender. Can't make it through that crowd in front of the goaltender, Biasucci. Another shot there, right on net. Big rebound. Another one that just goes past the goalpost as the Knights are swarming. Now we got a penalty coming up to Logan Hunter. I was talking to some of the long-time Knights fans in between the first and second periods. They said the Knights came out totally flat in the first period. There's a shot loose as a bouncing puck almost went past the rookie goaltender Joey Biasucci for that one. Kept in by Corey Perry of the Knights. Here's Nash running into his man. Nash just laid out Eric Schwanz, who had his head down. There's another shot from Nash as he and Schwanz have got a battle going in front of the net. And we've got a penalty coming up to Rick Nash as he's trying to fire up his team. One bounces off the side of the net. Here's a chance for Nash. He tries to spin around and runs into his own player as Corey Perry was there. Perry being cross-checked by Flash. It's underneath the net. Big pile up in front of the goaltender, Biasucci. And the linesman, Joel Celestin, and Jim Carman will pull the players off and find out where that puck is.
Well, we might actually have an opportunity to see if that puck went in or not. We do have a new camera here in the ice house. We're going to get a good look at it. I love this camera. Rick Nash trying to bank it off the arm of the goaltender. There we can see the fight for it, and no, definitely not. That puck did not get across the line.
Misconduct to Kurt McSwain of Brampton for the visor. Here's McMorrow trying to mix it up along the boards with Tyler Harrison. Harrison will have none of that. Now a chance, a breakaway. McClement shoots. And the save by Riddler as he got a good piece of it. And the rebound went high. Knights change up with 1:15 left to go in the second period. Here's a chance for Kemps. Another shot. McClement came in. Harrison takes a shot, scores! Jay Harrison with a bullet from the blue line makes it 4-1 for the Brampton Battalion.
Well, and again, Glenn Riddler made a couple of outstanding saves, and the London Knights weren't able to pick that puck up and clear it out. And here's the result. There we see one save that Riddler was able to make. And the puck just came out to the blue line, and Harrison wound up and let it go. I'm not sure if it was tipped or if it was a knuckleball of any sort, but Harrison gets himself in the score sheet. That's his first goal of the season.
Hunter. And it goes ahead to Rick Nash. Here's Rick Nash. Nash going in by himself. He takes the shot. Score!
Here we get a chance to see it again. Rick Nash doing it all himself, picking that puck up at center ice, skating in. Two Brampton players shadowing Rick Nash. He just skates to the outside and lets that wrist shot go and bounces one past Biasucci.
Almost a shorthanded goal for the London Knights. The penalty to Logan Hunter is over. Scores! Yeah, block! Just picked the top corner. We now have a hockey game. One goal difference here.
Well, and as Danny Raw picks up his second goal of the season, that also gives him a 4-game point streak. There we see it. Raw gets it on his stick and wastes no time. A quick release. High over the left shoulder of Joey Biasucci, who didn't even see that puck coming towards him. And now the Knights have pulled themselves within one goal with 5:45 left to go here in the third period.
And then 3:50 left to go in the third period. Brampton leads this game 4-3 as Luboš Velebny takes it into the Brampton end. His backhanded pass goes back to Barbieri. Loose in front of the net. Scramble. Several players. Got it. Luboš Velebny ties it up for the London Knights. Knights keep it in there. There's Hunter, Dylan Hunter. There's Logan Hunter's been out. Here's Nash with a shot! Loose in front of the net. It hits a leg with a wide open net as Biasucci was down and Rick Nash was robbed. Now back down to the other end. Dragged down is the Brampton player by Ian Turner. It was McSwain. 10 seconds left in the period. Looks like we're going to overtime here, folks. As McSwain has it at center, Aaron Lobb tries to take it over the blue line, can't get to it. 2 seconds. Here's Barbieri all alone. And yes, we will take a short break. And then we'll be back with a 5-minute overtime in a hockey game that had 2 periods flat. And this third period has really picked it up. And I don't say that just because the London Knights came back in the third, but it was a flat hockey game in the first and second, and we've only seen some excitement here in the third. Coming up through center, Leclerc takes it over the blue line, takes the shot, kicked away. Puck is loose as McSwain is there for it. Centering pass to Harrison, he shoots, kicked away by Glenn Riddler. We're going to get a penalty to Jay Harrison in overtime. Unheard of.
Well, you certainly don't see it very often, but
here's McSwain. He'll pick up some speed. Short-handed going in with Turcotte. He's dragged down. There's a shot. Goes wide. Now Nash comes back. Got a 2-on-1 situation. Rick Nash with Aaron Lobb going for the net. Shoot! Kicked away by Biasucci on a beautiful save in overtime. Here's McSwain. Winds it up. Kicked away by Riddler. It's back and forth. As Lobb takes it in, can't get around the defense. Turcotte gets it ahead to McSwain. McClement is taken into the boards by Volebny. Back 15 seconds left in the overtime period. 4-4 hockey game. The Knights came back big time in the third period, scoring 3 unanswered goals. In behind the net there, McSwain can't get to it. Now there's a shot. Loose in front of the net. They score! The Brampton Battalion score with less than a second to go in the third period, as it was actually guided in by a skate, and I think it was one of the London Knights. We don't have the official call on that goal and finish this game, but the Knights certainly made a good comeback, but they lose it here in overtime with 0.62 seconds on the clock, and you'll see it goes in off a skate. That was Jay Harrison in front of the net for the Brampton Battalion. So scoring for Brampton tonight, McSwain, McClement, Brent Hughes, Jay Harrison, and whoever got the winner there for the Knights, it was Stathopoulos, Rick Nash, Danny Bois, Luboš Volebny, and we should mention that Patrick Barbieri had 2 assists in this game for the London Knights.
Well, really, the London Knights came out very flat in the first and second periods. If they'd have shown the same intensity that they had here in the third period on their big comeback tonight and scoring 3 unanswered goals in the third period, I think this would have been an entirely different game. But perhaps this is part of the learning curve that the London Knights are going to go through in the early part of the season, and this is something that they won't do later on in the season. And really, as we've mentioned a few times, this season is very, very young. The London Knights really shouldn't be too depressed. They should be depressed about the first 2 periods, but definitely played a lot better in the third period. Had some great opportunities with the man advantage in the overtime period, and unfortunately a heartbreaker there as that puck goes off Jay Harrison's skate into the open net behind Glenn Riddler. No chance for Riddler. Gotta feel sorry for him. He made some outstanding saves tonight and gave the Knights really an opportunity to win this game.
Yeah, the winning goal scored with 0.62 seconds left to go in the overtime period. Brampton win this one 5-4. Our next game here on Rogers Television from the Ice House will be next Friday night when the London Knights welcome the Plymouth Whalers. Tomorrow night on the game of the week, it's the Mississauga Ice Dogs and the Toronto St. Mike's Majors. I'm Steve Matthews with Gavin Mifflin here at the Ice House. We'll see you next time and finish up tonight downstairs. Good night.
Let's take a look at the Molson 3 stars for tonight's hockey game. Jay McClement, the first star, had 2 goals, including the great game winner right at the very end. Mike Stathopoulos and Patrick Barbieri, both great games for the London Knights. Barbieri having his best game as a Knight, a couple of assists late in the game. Also, Luboš Vlevny, a good game for the Knights as well, too, scoring that game-tying goal late before it went to overtime. So a fantastic game for the Knights, a great comeback. They get a point out of this when it looked like they weren't going to get any points. They score 3 goals in the last 10 minutes of the hockey game and battle back to get 1 point against the Brampton Battalion. That's it for the game tonight on OHL Primetime. Our next game back here Friday against the Plymouth Whalers. Have a good evening.